Right now at 6 o'clock, a man is facing charges in the killing of a 16-year-old in New Haven a year and a half after it happened. Fox 61's Brooke Griffin will tell you where the investigation stands this morning.
And more pets being abandoned in Connecticut. What animal advocates say needs to change to stop this epidemic of abuse.
And we heard from President Biden last night, partly on why he stepped out of the presidential election race. We'll share his reasoning in just a few minutes.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
It's Thursday morning. Good morning to you. Thanks so much for starting your day off with us here at Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus America areas.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Let's get right over to meteorologist Matt Scott to talk about how much rain we might be seeing today.
Very little, and that's a
Okay.
good thing.
Yes.
That's a nice little departure from the anticipation that today was going to be kind of like the, the bigger day in terms of storms. We
Right,
do
that's
have-
why it was looking earlier in the week.
Here's the deal. We still have that front coming in, and most importantly, the humidity is still getting out of here. So we are kind of happy that the transition day is going to be fairly quiet. Muggy to start, but not to finish, and that does lead to a fantastic weekend ahead. We'll talk about that coming up. Plenty of clouds, plenty of mugginess, plenty of what we have grown accustomed to all week long. You can see, if you look off towards the north and west, it does look like there's a little clearing off in way upstate New York, and that's eventually the drier air that's filtering in this way. 74 degrees in Hartford, New Haven, 71 in Groton, so yeah, we're used to that. Dew Point's still in the lower 70s. Yeah, we're used to that. But let me show you the broader view, and you can see ready to pounce is this drier air sweeping in. Buffalo's got an already better, more comfortable dew point. So a couple of scattered showers in there. But in terms of strong thunderstorm activity, not seeing it. The dynamics just aren't there. Not complaining about that. By later on this evening, much clearer skies, much better forecast. 76 now. Coming up at 9 o'clock, I should say, 81 this afternoon. So temperature still struggling a bit thanks to the clouds, but by and large, good times ahead. That's the best news in the weather. We'll talk about it coming up. Not so good times if you're on 691 this morning. I hope there are no other problems. Good morning, Rachel Piscatelli.
Hey, good morning, Matt. Following a couple of issues actually on the roads. A new crash over in Farmington, though. It does look like it may be clearing as we speak. So just want to let folks know, though, if you're in the area or potentially traveling in the area of 84 out by exit 37 on that eastbound side, we do have those delays. This is because of a two-vehicle crash. We have emergency crews that are on scene right now, or at least the police cruisers are on scene. So it does look like that right and shoulder closed at the moment, although volume is rather light in the area. Bethany now, Route 69, a portion of that closed this morning due to a two-vehicle crash. We'll let you know when that reopens. And this issue on 691 eastbound has been out there all morning long, really since about 4 o'clock. A tractor-trailer fire closing a portion of 2A. So folks are getting detoured off of exit 2A now, and then you can jump back on 691. You can see here that they have plenty of emergency crews there. There's a tractor trailer that's involved, as well as some fire crews. Expect to be out here for quite some time. The westbound side looks good, though, from 91 to 84. It's about 9 minutes. Tim and Erica, back to you.
Rachel, thanks so much. Well, this morning, New Haven leaders are going to announce an arrest in the killing of a teenager just days before Christmas in 2022.
Fox 61's Brooke Griffin joins us now. She's live in New Haven with what we know about the suspect. Brooke.
Well, New Haven police tell us they have now arrested Angelo Gibson. They say that he shot and killed Joshua Vasquez, only 16 years old at the time, a few years ago. Now, thankfully, the family is getting some of those answers that they've been looking for now for a couple of years. Police say that day, back in December of 2022, a car pulled up alongside Vasquez on that afternoon while he was riding his bike near a corner store. They tell us somebody came up beside him, shot him, and then left the scene. Officers found Vasquez lying in the street. He later died at the hospital. Community members say that he was a great kid and very involved in improving his neighborhood, even mowing the lawn for neighbors and at the community center nearby.
Joshua was a gentle person. I don't want anyone to misconstrue who this young man was. He was a caring and a loving person.
And since that day in December, the search for the shooter has been active. Now, a year and a half later, New Haven police have arrested Angelo Gibson for that crime. We'll be hearing more about that suspect later this morning. City leaders are expected to break down the process of that arrest and tell us a little bit more about who that suspect is. We'll be hearing from New Haven Mayor Justin Elicker, also be talking to the New Haven police chief, along with some of the family and friends of Joshua Vasquez. We'll have more on that coming up later today. Live in New Haven, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Brooke, thanks so much for the update there. Well, meantime this morning, we were told that a 2-year-old boy who was shot in Monroe is still in the hospital this morning. Police say he was shot in the hand and in the foot. Now, we brought this to you as breaking news less than 24 hours ago. Police responded to the intersection of Route 110 and Osborne Lane in Monroe at about 9:30 Tuesday night. They said the little boy's mom tried to take him to the hospital, but she pulled over and called 911 instead. We're told the toddler was shot at his home on Wheeler Road. We don't know who pulled the trigger right now. Police have not arrested anyone as of this morning. And animal advocates all across the state say more pets are being abandoned. Most recently, a dog was thrown from a blue SUV in Avon. Animal rights group Desmond's Army is working to bring justice to abused animals, and they're offering a $5,000 reward to anyone that has information leading to an arrest in this case out of Avon.
These animals are your responsibility, the owner's responsibility. That's just horrible, ridiculous, cruel to an animal, and there's no need for it. Vicious, intentional harm.
Now, among the reasons advocates believe there are several contributing factors to the increase. This includes people returning to the office after the pandemic and also financial hardships from the increased costs of products and food.
All right, turning to politics this morning, here's a live look at the White House in Washington, D.C. That's where President Biden addressed the nation last night from the Oval Office. It was his first speech since his decision to drop out of the 2024 presidential race. And he claimed that while his administration's accomplishments warranted a second term, he said he chose to end his re-election bid for the sake of the American people and democracy.
In the defense of democracy, which is at stake, I think is more important than any title. I draw strength and I find joy in working for the American people. But this sacred task of perfecting our union is not about me. It's about you, your families, your futures. It's about we, the people.
That was about as specific as the president got regarding why he dropped out of the race, but he did reiterate his support for Vice President Kamala Harris's bid for the White House.
And turning to the campaign now, on the Republican side, former President Donald Trump speaking to supporters in the swing state of North Carolina. The former president shifting the focus of his attacks from President Biden to Vice President Kamala Harris as she appears ready to secure the Democratic nomination.
We officially defeated the worst president in the history of our country, crooked Joe Biden. He quit because he was losing so badly in the polls. So now we have a new victim to defeat. Lion Kamala Harris, Lion, the most incompetent and far-left vice president in American history. By the way, they did a poll.
And he also criticized the Biden administration's policy on immigration. This includes the handling of migrants along the U.S.-Mexico border. Now, just a few hours from now, Vice President Harris expected to speak at the American Federation of Teachers National Convention in Houston. That's the first labor union to formally endorse her candidacy. Delegates in Texas voted overwhelmingly to support her nomination to be the Democratic candidate. Yesterday, she spoke with the Zeta Pi Beta Sororities National Convention at the Indianapolis Convention Center. The VP shared what she would do to support everyone's rights if she were elected.
Ours is a fight for the future, and ours is a fight for freedom. Across our nation, we are witnessing a full-on assault on hard-fought, hard-won freedoms and rights. The freedom to vote, the freedom to be safe from gun violence.
And Harris's visit to Indiana comes nearly 16 years after the state voted for former President Obama in his 2008 run for president.
Well, this morning, organizers of the upcoming Democratic National Convention in Chicago are working to revamp the four-day event, scheduled to start on August 19th. But even before the delegates gather in Chicago, they will select their nominee through an online voting process. Voting there starts a week from today. The convention's Rules Committee passed a proposal yesterday to allow that virtual vote. As of this morning, Vice President Harris is the only candidate actively campaigning for that Democratic nomination, and there are reports that she shored up more than enough delegate support nationwide to win that upcoming vote. In the meantime, about 100 miles up I-94 in Ozaukee County, Wisconsin, voters talked about the Harris-Trump matchup and gave their opinions on what issues the next president should focus on.
Economy is number one.
Being able to afford groceries, gas. I mean, I know a lot of people, that's been a struggle.
What are you looking for in your next president?
These are really tough questions. I guess someone that has some of the same values.
Well, ahead of the convention, 90% of Wisconsin's Democratic delegates have endorsed Vice President Harris.